And I remember being like, holy motherfucking shit, what is happening right now? Whoa, sorry, parents. Has a doctor ever seen your vagina?
Yes.
Tell me!
And then they're like, great, like take off your pants. And I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, you poop in the bed.
Yeah, in your gown, whatever, they just gotta clean it.
That's a little weird. Foreign parents love getting the hair out from the roof.
3, 2, 1, justice! There was a point in my life where I had a UTI and I just had like a line of pee cups. I liked looking at the color changes.
Your butthole is like really hairy. And she asks you to grab your butt cheeks and spread them wide.
Wow.
And I was like, really? We just met. Are you excited?
So excited.
Hi guys! Today I have a very special guest on here. Can you believe this day has come? This is Izzy.
Hi.
She is my co-partner of our little baby, Boob Blurb. Tell them a little bit about yourself. You got a lot to say.
Well, I'm Izzy. I'm from Toronto, Canada. A few years ago, I started this little blog on the internet about sustainability, and then that turned into healthcare, and I got really interested in equity. And I worked on this one very long article project on women's bodies. And after that, I worked on a maternal mortality startup, sort of research project. We worked with the Nigerian government, and we built a medical curriculum and a drug distribution scheme in rural Nigeria. Worked with a lot of young girls, and I thought, we need to have conversations. And then I also watched Hailey's content, and so I was like, this is perfect. She is literally like the model person to talk about these things, like the way, no, seriously, like TMI Girl Talk, all of it. Like I cold emailed you, and then I was so happy, like we got on the call, we vibed, and we had these ideas, and
Fast forward like a year from now. Can you tell them how old you are?
I'm 18.
I'm so happy that our missions aligned. We definitely were at Party City for a minute yesterday.
Yes.
Me and Izzy are just sitting in the corner like pumping out her balloons. I've been doing TMI Girl Talk on my channel for a while, where you guys send in stigmatized, taboo questions where we kind of open them up, like break them down, and just get very honest and vulnerable with each other. Our card game is kind of that in like a provocative question form. We're obviously gonna have a link down below where you guys can order a game yourselves. We thought it'd be fun if we picked some random questions, put them inside the balloons. Us at Party City trying to explain to the employee there, do you have balloons that are stretchy because we want to put something in them? And then she's like, what? Basically the idea is we want to pop all the barriers, all the bubbles that were placed inside. Our fuck you tool is going to be this little pin today. We're just going to be popping each question as we go. So if you're wearing headphones, this is your warning. Maybe take them off. I don't like loud noises. Why did I agree to doing this?
I don't know how loud they'll be because there's not that much tension in the balloon.
See, she's so science. That's why we're a good duo.
Yeah, ready?
I'll go. We pop it, there's no card in there. Not bad, not bad. Okay, why did you start shaving your body? Tell us, girl.
The first time I used a razor, I was in Mexico. My family took a vacation, and then I just noticed my armpits had hair. I think I was in like grade 5 or something.
So this was your first ever experience with hair removal?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
And I had like leg hair. I didn't really think to shave it. Armpit hair, I was like, this is weird. And I feel like when you, kind of like when you're getting boobs, you're like, oh, like this is weird. Like I was just used to looking at my chest the same way.
Yeah.
And I remember being really resistant to that kind of change. And I think it was similar, where I was like, I'm like used to not having hair in my armpits, and so I just kind of want to like continue that way. And like I was on a beach, like no one had hair in their armpits.
Yeah. How old were you?
Probably 11. But I remember telling my mom, and she was like, great, like let's go into the bathroom. So she just took some water and like she shaved it for me.
Okay.
And for the first few weeks, she would just shave it for me.
Good little transition.
Yeah.
It's like, I am growing older, but my mom that's
shaving my armpits.
That's honestly pretty supportive of her.
But then in grade 6 or 7 is when I noticed like, oh, like I have like hair and it's not super blonde on my legs. And I remember telling my mom, an Eastern European thing, I feel like it's sometimes foreign parents are like, no, don't shave. Like shaving makes it grow back. Like wax your legs.
Yeah.
And so I like literally had never shaved my leg. I'd always got them waxed until like a few months ago, my first year in college, when I like looked up, I was in a small town in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and I just like could not find a good place to wax my legs that wasn't like $150.
Okay.
And so I was like, I just gotta get a razor and shave them.
Did you see a difference when you started
Yes.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Because, you know, I will get this comment a lot on my videos where they're like, that's a myth. Like, shaving does not make it grow more or thicker. And I guess it does depend from, like, person to person. But I'm always like, guys, I don't know if this is a myth because it's kind of valid for me, at least.
After I wax it, it's much more sparse. I like waxing. What about you? What's your shaving?
Okay, so my first experience with hair removal, I was in 6th grade. You know, like, you go to the bathroom with your mom when you're out and about. Like, you know, I guess she noticed, like, I was growing some hair in my vaginal area. I actually had girls in my grade that would shave. So that was, I guess, the first time the light bulb went off in my head where I was like, is this something I should be doing? And I did notice more hair on my legs. Not on my armpits at first, but on my legs. But it was always blonde. So I remember telling my mom one day when we were just like walking down the street, we were walking by like a drugstore, and I was like, Mom, I really want to like remove my hair. And she was like, okay, yeah, like she was very on board. She was like, okay, yeah, let's go. Maybe she thought I wasn't ready for a razor or something like that in 6th grade. So she got me Nair. The cream that you put that. First of all, Nair is the nastiest shit I've ever.
Smells
so bad. I can smell it. Like every time I say the word, my memory kicks in. And she got me that because I guess she thought it would be more innocent. We went into the bathroom like the next day, and I was like rolling up my pants, and she was like, no, we're not gonna use it on your legs. And I was like, huh? Like, what do you mean? She's like, no, we got it for your private area. And I was like, what? Like, I didn't even think about that. I guess I wasn't paying attention to that. And I was like, no, like, I want to shave my legs. I was excited for that. She was kind of like a little strict, I guess, about not shaving my legs. Because she was like, you know, if you start early, it's just gonna make it thicker. Again, that like foreign parent thing. A lot of parents. She was like, you're too young. Now that I look back on it, I think there's a better way of doing that. Like a conversation rather than her telling me what I can and can't do. Because that definitely made me feel like I can't do this, so I want to do this. Yeah. So I used Nair for a few months, and now that I'm older and I know, Nair is bad for you. It's literally chemicals, and it smells bad. Use this nasty ass sponge to wipe shit off. Would not recommend to anybody watching this video. A year after that, I was like, fuck this. I am getting a razor. Yeah. And then I just kind of started doing it on my own.
Did you ever get one of those that like pulled your leg?
So that was the next thing that my mom actually wanted me to move on to because I don't know, like foreign parents love getting the hair out from the root. They have something against a razor. It's kind of like an American thing. I feel like such
a razor? Yeah, I think so too.
None of my friends back home usually like use razors. They have their monthly waxing appointment. I guess America's all about quick consumerism and no patience. Yeah. And then now I'm lasered, so I'm like chilling.
Okay. Ooh, okay. What do you love about your period? Try to think of something.
See, this is gonna be such an interesting question for me to answer.
I love my cramps, like when they first start, because I'm like, this is sick, because my uterus is hard at work. And like, don't get me wrong, I get super nauseous. I need to take an Advil a lot of the time. Like,
kind of appreciating your body for what it does. Yeah, see, I haven't gotten my period in over a year because I have an IUD. It makes me worry. I'm doubting if my body is functioning properly because I don't get my period. So I think like I see what you're saying because I'm in the opposite scenario, and like that creates anxiety within me where I'm like, once a month I would have that moment of presence of being like, I have this ability to create life and like birth children. Kind of awesome to think about at times. I don't get my period anymore, so I've definitely been feeling like the negatives of that.
Your anxiety almost stems from like not knowing what's happening. Your period's like a notification, just like your vaginal discharge and that kind of stuff.
Let's do a white one.
Yeah.
The car flew across the room, you guys. Has a doctor ever seen your vagina?
Yes.
Tell me!
Yes, a doctor has. I had appendicitis and...
Wait, they have to go into your vagina? No.
Basically, after my surgery, like the appendicitis scars are very low, so you have to just take your pants off for them to like look at the scars. The day before my surgery for appendicitis, because I had to do an ultrasound, and then they're like, great, like take off your pants. And I was like, oh, okay. I like go up to the doctor and I'm giving them so much information. Like, look, I finished my period on Sunday. Like, my hormone levels seem to be really good. I took like an ovulation strip. Like, I did all these like little tests at home.
Where?
At my home.
She just has ovulation strips in her house.
Yes, I like to know my hormone levels. I have cups to pee in case I want to look at my pee. Like, there was a point in my life where I had a UTI and I just had like a line of pee cups.
Oh my god.
I liked looking at the color changes. It was real.
You Yeah.
But I've never had to do it at like the OBGYN.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn, that's
Yeah.
really interesting. Because the only time a doctor has seen my vagina is at the OB.
Yeah.
I was sexually getting active, I guess. Whoa, sorry, parents. But I was smart about it, and I wanted to go on birth control, and also like because my periods were really heavy. At least that's what I told my mom. They were, but that wasn't the only reason I wanted to go on birth control. And I went with a friend. First, a nurse comes and tells you to put on the gown and take your pants off, and then sit on the chair and put your feet on the cold metal. I think what's nice is because you're wearing this gown and they put this like tissue paper thingy over your legs like this. Like literally what it looks like when you watch a movie and someone's giving birth. Like a barrier between you and the doctor. So you don't really see them doing anything, which is nice. They like put their fingers inside you, move it around. Does this hurt? At this point, probably like over 5 doctors have seen my vagina.
Quick question. If you were giving birth, would you want to have a mirror to see you? Like if you were giving birth vaginally?
That's a thing.
Yeah. You see the baby come out if you're giving birth vaginally.
Honestly, why not?
Yeah.
When else am I
100%.
Yeah. I also am very sensitive when it comes to blood. I feel like you would know the answer to this question. I always think about this. What happens if you pass out during natural birth?
You probably wouldn't because you have so many contractions, but the number 1 cause of death is bleeding to death from birth.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Or they would do a C-section. Like if you were unconscious, they would probably have to do a C-section.
No.
What has been your experience with vaginal discharge?
Great question. Did you think of this one? It's not like she wrote all the questions. My experience with vaginal discharge probably started when I was like in around 6th grade, like same time where my mom decided to nair my vagina. It's stayed with me since that day.
Yeah.
A daily basis thing.
I think I just have a high amount of vaginal discharge.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so I get it a lot. During your cycle, your vaginal discharge changes. When you're ovulating and your like body's most fertile,
Like
you want
clumpy.
it to be least clumpy. It's kind of like egg white. It's like that.
okay.
And there's also parts of your cycle where you're supposed to be like significantly drier. Right after your period, it's like super dry, and then it becomes more and more watery. And then the most watery is when you're fertile, and then after it's less watery.
Once I found out that every other female also has discharge on a daily basis, I felt way better.
I was like,
I honestly thought that I get vaginal discharge because I'm really horny or something. When you're horny, obviously you get more.
you get arousal fluid.
They're different.
They're different.
They come out of the same hole.
Same hole.
Okay. When it's the cottage cheese texture, I heard it might be because of a yeast infection. Like it's like a notifier. Maybe you have like a yeast infection. What was your first bra? We're really going back to our puberty days. I was in 5th grade. I feel like you're gonna know exactly what store I went to buy my first bra.
I wonder if it's the same store as me. We can say it on 3.
Okay, 3,
3, 2, 1. Justice!
Such a universal fucking experience. So I was just going about living my day, you know, as one does when they're in 5th grade. And like similar to you, I was used to how my body was. And then it was almost like one day I woke up and like you don't really have boobs, you just have like nipples. Like little circles when you're younger, and they're flat. But like one day I woke up and they were just not that flat. They were just a little bit more puffier. I thought I had like breast cancer because like I would feel it and it would feel like a little baby rock. And I looked it up right away. I feel a lump in my boob, and then obviously all the results I got were like breast cancer. I should have put when you're 12 years old. I went to my mom and I was like, Mom, you need to feel my boobs. And she was just like medically diagnosing me. She was just like, okay, like this is totally fine, you know, you're growing. And I did not like that. Maybe it's because I was just scared of the change. I was also really excited about, okay, wait, does this mean I get to wear a bra? And like we went to Justice and got those, like not even a bra, but like those triangle bras, like no padding inside it. And I wore those for probably like a year or so, like for a while.
Yeah, mine was very similar. Like I was like, I remember looking in the mirror and I was like, okay, if I'm gonna do this boob thing, like, let's just do it.
Was yours something that you were noticing gradually and not doing anything about it? Okay.
Yeah. You know, like you have gym, and at least my gym was like in school, it was segregated by like genders, I guess, or what they put as genders. And then I remember I'd be like, oh my god, like people have bras in this room, and like we're starting to change it to gym clothes. And I was like, okay, like I don't have a bra, but like I'm like noticing stuff on my chest. And so I went to my mom and we went to Justice and we bought this like turquoise polka dot like training bra. Okay. And then I wore that.
Marshalls and Justice.
Yes.
Marshalls came through.
Yes.
Those
I still get bras from Marshalls.
Oh, me too.
Yeah. The Marshalls that was near my house was also right across the street from the Justice.
Oh, perfect. You're like, it's a bra exchange
other one I used to get, Abercrombie.
I would wear my Justice bras under my
Abercrombie and Finch t-shirts.
Yeah, t-shirts, and nothing could stop me. I thought people were looking at me different. They probably didn't even notice. They were just looking at the moose on my shirt.
Oh, this one's fun. Took a peek.
Oh my god, Izzy! I wish we got this at the end.
I know.
Right? I love my nipples on your body with a permanent marker. Let me get a Sharpie. Where should I write it?
Do it. Big font.
There you go. You heard it here first.
Can people see?
It is a little light. It's glow in the dark.
We get this one.
Yeah.
Do you think I should do it where we try to make the
You
card
body
fall?
slam it?
But I was thinking like do it up and the card falls.
Okay, you're getting real creative with this. How did you first learn about sex? How has your definition of it evolved? Great question.
Great question, agree. I was in a YMCA program after school care because my parents worked.
Wait, set the scene. How old are you?
Grade 4 to like 10, 9, something like that. And this girl walking into the school and she said, you know what I find really gross? And I was like, what? And she's like, the fact that every child is born from sex. And I was like, oh yeah, me too. Because like I didn't know what it was. And so I was like,
but you'd heard the word.
I've heard the word sex. And I remember even, you know, you hear it in movies. One time we were watching like figure skating movie in my living room. I don't know.
Frozen.
No.
Like you go, this was actually pretty recently that I found out what it is.
I was on the way to the basement and I kind of like stopped by and I got like captured by the movie and I sat and they were like talking about sex a lot. And I remember asking my parents like, oh, like what is sex? And they were like, it's okay, like you don't need to know. It's like not important to the plot. So I'd like heard the word before and then this girl was like, yeah, I think it's like really gross that like all kids are made from sex. That was kind of like my first thing. I was like, okay, sex, baby making, like perfect. And then the next year we learned about how babies are made in sex ed and I was like, okay, like this, I understand the mechanics and like whatnot. And then fast forward, my definition has evolved mostly because I've known a lot of people who don't just have heterosexual sex. And I'm like, oh, like I understand like there's like different ways to like be intimate with one another. So I think of it more of like an intimacy and like with another person, but I feel like the original definition was baby making.
Mine was also definitely baby making.
Yeah.
I thought you'd just be naked and like just rub your bodies on
me
each
too.
other and like hug really motherfucking tight. Like around 16, 17, like I would associate like sex with like losing your virginity. So that's how my definition of it evolved. And then similar to you, I knew people like girls that would have sex with girls. I guess my definition of it evolved again because I was like, so what? They never lose their virginity if they're only ever had sex with another girl. They're just gonna be virgins forever. Same with you. Now my definition of sex is very much like intimacy.
Yeah, and I think virginity is interesting too because it's very much, I mean, I might be wrong, but it feels like a very biblical concept, like where it evolved from, and like a lot of these things, like different like biblical things wouldn't, you know, accept it. But I think like I've also even been able to accept being like, yeah, maybe virginity just like isn't a concept that like, I actually resonate with or like care about. Like who cares if there's like a date where one thing entered another thing? Like the hymen doesn't like pop based on one specific interaction, so we shouldn't judge someone's purity or whatever. Like we use a lot of these words for that.
It was a term created just to keep women in a box. And like set expectations for them to act based off of like some other people's desires and needs. So fuck that. Not about it, babe. Most women poop while giving birth. How do you feel about that? Sexy! How do you feel about
Scared? I don't know why. Like, it feels like so much to manage. Like, a child on one end, like, poop on the other end. Like,
I didn't know it was a thing until, like, maybe a year ago.
Yeah, I think it's 1 in 2. Odds are 50%.
Oh, my odds, if the day ever comes, is 99%. If I squeeze hard enough, I will poop, no matter the circumstance. I don't even need to be giving birth. So for me, I think that's definitely gonna happen. I don't really care. I'm kind of proud of it.
Yeah.
It's just like, where does it go? Like, do they have a bucket under it?
No, they just clean your bed.
Oh, you poop in the bed?
Yeah, in your gown, whatever. They just gotta clean it.
That's a little weird.
I feel like there's just gonna be so much going on. Like, doctors come in, like, you might have your significant other there. Sometimes you'll tear giving birth and you're like, just sew me up. Like, I don't care, like, what's happening.
God. So. I feel like I need to definitely do a few rounds of practice of just having my significant other in front of me, like, and pooping. I mean, yeah, I think you're just doing something so awesome that like that should be the least of your worries.
Yeah.
Like, hello, you grew something inside of you that's about to live? And you're worrying about poop, like,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I would be too.
Hard to pop. What part of your personality are you embarrassed about? Why? Us with big egos.
No, I definitely have a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Sometimes I feel like I don't know enough about things. Oh, like when people ask me like, what kind of music do you listen to? Whatever I'm in the car with and sounds good, I add it to my playlist more
me too.
so. Like I just collect as I go. So I don't have like a very distinct music taste that I'm like passionate about. I'm surrounded by a lot of people that love music. So sometimes I guess I feel a little self-conscious about that. Or not even just music in specific, but just like I grew up very scattered. I wasn't a part of a constant culture for a continuous amount of time. So I was very much like always picking up things on the way. Sometimes people will be like, oh my God, I love that movie. And like everyone in the room is going on and on about this movie. And I'm like, I have no idea what they're talking about. I'm just a combination of a bunch of little things.
Right.
Which is cool. That's also something that I'm like, I embrace a lot of the time because I'll know random shit about random things.
That's fair.
Thank you.
Oh, I started watching Property Brothers and HGTV at the age of 6, and so I never watched kids shows. I hated cartoons because I was like, turn on the reality real estate, please. And so everyone would be like, oh, like, what'd you think of Zootopia? I was like, I don't know, I didn't watch Zootopia, but I watched season 4 of Property Brothers. And it's like,
See, but like, yours is cool, you know? I was just probably, what the fuck was I doing?
But like, yeah, I think it builds such a really great mosaic rather than being like, you're just kind of like stuck in the same way as everyone.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I am a mosaic, you guys.
Thank you, Izzy.
That makes me feel really good.
I think sometimes I can be a little bit too imaginative. Like, I love my imagination. Like, I'm very much like creative, but sometimes I'll just get way too lost in thought that I'll like forget. I'm not as grounded or like down to earth as I probably could be. Like, sometimes I'll just like forget things, like accidentally trip on myself. I think another one is I can talk really fast and I can be really loud. I remember being a kid in the subway and I just took the subway so much and I would just talk, and when I get excited I talk really loud. People will be like, Izzy, like, we're in public, like calm down. They still have to tell me, they're like, you're being really loud. And I wish it bothered me more because I feel like I should have learned this a long time ago to like maybe be more conscious of my volume, but it's definitely something where I'm like, after the fact, I'm like, oh, like this made me sad because I really wanted to be like expressive.
But I mean, at the end of the day, like, I think it's those really weird quirks that make us, like, I would do this thing a lot where I would go be in an environment socializing and then come home and then kind of pick apart everything that I did, where I was like, why did I say that? Why did I do that? And I'm slowly learning to be like, you know what? Like, this is just who I am. It's really exhausting trying to always be cool and like perfect and awesome to other people. I'm trying to build peace with who I am, which is my favorite thing about getting older. Taking ownership over it and just like, whatever. I'll take a few awkward moments over coming home and like exhausting my brain over trying to like, you know, give myself shit about everything I did that was a little weird. I'm doing the final on this. We talked about this on my channel. The last card is an open topic card, and open topic cards are basically like a very general category that we kind of throw into the group. Anyone who's playing can like contribute whatever they feel comfortable with. It's more so like getting like a debate going or like a conversation going where everyone can say whatever the fuck. We don't want to just like restrict you to the answer of one question. And the open topic goes shaving your butt. You wrote this card, so tell me what you have in mind.
I just remember learning about it when I was like 16. I was like, oh, I didn't really realize the hair goes all the way over there.
Okay, I need to break this down. Where did you learn about it? Who was talking about it? Did you not know about it?
Okay, that's a good question. I feel like I had always really just shaved my bikini line. Okay. And so I was like, great, like no one, like I'll just shave what like, people don't see and I'll go to the beach and I'll like be happy with that. And then I remember starting to talk with like one of my closest friends and we would just like talk about things, like talk about shaving and that kind of stuff. And she was like, yeah, like it's so annoying to shave my butt in the shower. I have to like do like a little, what's the yoga pose where you're like cat? Yeah, definitely like downward dog, like whatever. Cat, not tabletop.
Interesting. Yeah, cat cow.
Yeah, cat cow. Yeah.
She does that.
Yeah.
Her butt. Maybe I should try that.
Or sometimes you just have to like put your leg up.
Oh yeah, that's what I do.
And I just remember being like, oh my god, like I'm totally like not.
You're like, oh yeah. Yeah, me too.
Oh, cool. Like, that's totally something I didn't consider because, like, you don't really see that.
Yeah, you don't see it.
Yeah.
Mine is definitely the, like, leg up vibe. Just really giving it all the space it needs. Mine was kind of similar. Like, I had been shaving for a while. I just didn't know that you grow hair around your butt.
Yeah.
And the first time you shave your butt, if you didn't know you grow hair there, it's like, oh my God. Why am I getting so fucking, like, detailed? It's, like, long.
Yeah.
Because you had no idea.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, holy motherfucking shit, what is happening right now? Funny story, one of my friends, so like this girl was in a relationship, she was having sex with her boyfriend. One day her boyfriend was like, hey, like, I've been meaning to tell you this and I didn't really know how to tell you this. I think you don't shave your butt, and maybe it's because you don't know, but your butthole is really hairy.
Are they still together?
I don't know. The thing is, I don't think he meant to hurt her.
Yeah.
I think he was
more like FYI.
Yeah, FYIing her. But she definitely was like, guys, I didn't know. It's for so long. I mean, it's normal. You don't need to shave any part of your body. I think it's just like, if that's what you prefer and you just didn't know.
Yeah.
Then it's kind of like, oh.
You should be able to be with someone who, like, lets you do you, like, whatever that is.
Oh, 100%. I honestly think his was coming from a place of love. Now it's my favorite part of shaving, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I get so much satisfaction out of it.
That's fair.
I also, like, have laser, so it's not...
In your butt, too?
So I didn't know this when I first went to laser. Halfway through, she asks you to flip over, and she asks you to grab your butt cheeks and spread them wide.
Wow.
And I was like, really? We just met. It's a weird sensation. It's like hot flashes on your butthole. Those were all the balloons, you guys. We went through all our questions. Thank you so much, Izzy, for being on my channel. We hope you enjoyed.
We're gonna have all the Boob Blurb stuff linked down below. Follow us.
It's like the perfect game for any like sleepover, dorm party. We will have a link where you can order the game down below. We will see you in our next video together. Do you know my outro?
I love you to Pluto and back.
We love you guys so much. All the way to Pluto.